As Mayo looked to finally end 70 years of hurt, we searched up and down the county to find someone who could tell us all about the hype. We ended up bumping into boxer and Mayo superfan Ray Moylett, which is pretty convenient given Mayo's fullback Pádraig O'Hora is also a skilled combat sportsman.
Oh, he's that man. When you put his name into anything, it's going to be combat. You know, he's as tough as old boots, and you know, I knew him from a few years ago. He used to box with Arden Ray down there, or Ballina. I'm not even sure which one there was when I was in Westport boxing, and he used to come up sparring and all that. But to my recollection now, we haven't sparred or anything like that. But when he was on that Ultimate Hell Week on RT, that the Rangers course, and I was sending him messages, you know, throughout that. Obviously, it was pre-recorded, but I was following it. I was sending him messages, and he actually told me that it had be no bother to me and that my boxing background, but I definitely beg to differ. But we actually ended up saying that we'd go sparring or we'd go doing a bit of training, because I know he's into MMA as well, so that was definitely something he put out for a bit of a spar. But I'll actually call him out here now. So they win Sam Maguire, myself and himself will do an exhibition fight, and we might raise a bit of money for some charity. We'll let him decide the charity, but I'll put my name to that and put my name into the ring with him.
You won't do a push-up off instead?
No, I'm actually fed up of doing push-ups at the minute.
Shortly after speaking to Ray in Castlebar, we moved to this super secret location, which definitely wasn't just the other side of the same park in the middle of Castlebar. We had secured a meeting with RF, who you may know from such things as the RF podcast and Twitter. You may also know him as an international man of mystery, and this interview was only granted on the strict promise of anonymity.
Yeah, I think there's a different edge to this Mayo team, and it's great. Look at, we said it already. We do probably lose the run of ourselves, and we'll paint sheep, and we'll paint anything that we can, red or green, and we'll mow the lawn up Mayo and whatever else that goes with it. Like, that's part of it. I say it in the tagline in the Twitter account. It's only a game. Like, that it is. It's what's the point of sport if you can't enjoy it? You know, that's what it's for. And I think people forget that. A lot of people take it too serious. We lose the run of ourselves, enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
It's the whole point, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Spectators. It's you go, you enjoy it, you enjoy the day out. These guys are obviously enjoying it in a different way by maxing out themselves in terms of their sporting ability and performing on a stage in front of the world. Like, yeah, you know, sometimes we find it hard to separate what's needed and what's here for enjoyment, and that's the way I see it anyway. So that's what it's all about.
Anyone who has listened to Tommy Tiernan's podcast will know that the man has no time whatsoever for the town of Ballina. So we went to Knockmore, home of the Mayo County champions, and also in the general vicinity of Ballina, to chat to his podcast colleague Larita Blewett.
I think, secretly he does like Ballina. I think because he really was not in good form the day we were there. He got hay fever, he was hungover, and I was, protesting too much about how great a town Ballina was, so he was going the absolute opposite. But I've noticed now the last couple of weeks he's trying to get back into Mayo favour again. Actually, you know what, the way it is, we're supposed to be recording on Monday, and if we're All Ireland champions, I'd say the boys are going to have to come down to Mayo. I refuse to go to Galway next week if we're recording up there. So maybe we get them down to Ballina again and maybe smooth things out. I'm sure they're a welcoming bunch, in fairness, so they'll probably take it on the chin.
No trip to Mayo is complete without a visit to the Las Vegas of Ireland.
Well, there's great excitement in Knock. Looking forward to the All-Ireland final this year. Naturally, with our very talented Mayo team in it, we're wishing them all the best on Saturday, and hopefully they'll bring home Sam Maguire. We're 70 years waiting for him, so it would be a very welcome visitor to Mayo. The extra prayer and the extra bit of holy water for the Mayo team this year. Well, we haven't been there for the last few years, but yes, indeed, we always have a special devotion. People come and give an extra prayer hopefully for the winning of the Sam Maguire. Well, this year we have the Mayo flags going all over the world. We also have an online shop, so our Mayo flags are making its way to Australia, and visitors that come to the shrine bring home a bit of water and a Mayo flag. Even to Tyrone, we had one of our customers there last week, and the Mayo flag won its way up to Tyrone as well, with Knock Holy Water, of course.
They say 1.5 million people visit Knock every year. It is the second most visited tourist attraction in the county of Mayo, trailing by some distance behind Mick Byrne's bar in Castlebar. Here's the man himself.
With the help of God, we'll have Oisin Mullen back, and I'm quietly confident that Owen McLaughlin will play some part too as well on Saturday. I think we have the sixth best back in the country, and it'll be down to forward power and the whole lot. But I do think that we are the slight favourites, and rightly so.
A broken jaw won't keep any Mayo man out of the final.
A broken jaw never kept a Mayo man out of anything.
When I go into the ring, it's just, I know it's not only me, but I feel if I win, like my friends are going back to work on Monday, but I'm out to celebrate and I'm the bad guy. But but like if a football team wins, the whole team is out on a Monday and they're great. So everything I do personally is nearly for myself. So to be not involved, but to be part of something with Mayo football and the culture of it in Mayo, and it is the full community, it's for everyone behind them. And we're just all delighted to be part of it and to be back in an All-Ireland final. I think we're nearly disappointed if we don't get to the final, and we'll be very disappointed if we don't win it this year after beating the champions Dublin. You know, everyone thought Dublin couldn't be bet for the next 10 years, the way they were talking.
I think when we don't win, we haven't won in so long and we've been bet so many times, I think people enjoy the journey, not the destination. I think that's probably why maybe, in a way, Mayo people probably enjoy the build-up a lot more and kind of lose the run themselves, because it's part of, that is until the day of the game, so there's no winners or losers up until that point. And it's in our psyche now to probably enjoy the build-up a lot more than because we don't know what it's like to win with.
My biggest problem at the moment, and the reason I'm not going to the match, is that I've no staff. And with the restrictions, as I said earlier, I have to look after my locals. I have to make sure that they're that they're here on the day. And if I'm in Croke Park watching the match, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I've no emergency button, certainly not. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I rang a friend of mine who retired publican up the country, and he said he'd come down for a few days crack, but knowing him, it'll be crack with him and there'll be no work involved. But look, we'll win, and we'll discuss the whole lot then after that when we do win, Sam, with the help of God. This is the first one I missed, Jan. It's breaking me heart, to be honest with you. It's the first this year, and last year was the first time since 19 as far back as I can remember that I've missed a Mayo match, and it's just unfortunate with the circumstances that are in it, COVID being one, short staff being another, and business comes first. I mean, we'll have plenty of time to celebrate, but not to be there will break my heart to see Aidan O'Shea lifting Sam on the day.
There's always a few people that'll keep it real, and just say, oh, I was getting my nails done today actually, and they were all talking in the nail bar about how everyone thinks we've won already. So, but I'm like, oh God, no, don't think like that. I think the further we go on and the longer we're in these situations, I think the more real we become. I think we can't get too carried away at this stage.
What is the temperature amongst the Mayo fans at the moment?
Spicy. Mildly spicy. I know it's there's an excitement, but there's a seriousness to it.
Yeah.
There's a seriousness there I don't think I've ever experienced or felt with people. You ask the general public or you ask the guy in the street. Yeah, I think that they have a chance. They have a good chance. It's not I will go up and give it a go. Like what's been in years before. Or some people. Obviously there's going to be crackpots out there that think they're going to win by 20 points, and there's no reasoning for it. But they're Mayo fans. But if you ask the footballing guys, they'll all tell you there's a chance there. Yeah. If Mayo perform. If Mayo perform and there's no crazy act of God, then you never know.
My nieces are from Kildare. My nieces and nephews are in Galway. So once they're able to speak, we teach them how to sing the green and red of Mayo. So that's just part and parcel of being from Mayo, and or having anybody that's connected to you from Mayo. You have to learn all the words to that song. So
they're on about the curse, so they're on about Paddy Prendergast and this, that, and the other. Paddy Prendergast is the last surviving member of that team. One of nature's gentlemen. He's living down in Tralee. His brother was full back for Mayo in the 70th and 80th, and he had another brother too as well, full back for Mayo as well. So the Prendergast name is synonymous and it's famous with Mayo football here, and I hope the man lives to lead the 100 and more.
Yeah, I mean, you always get snippets of people who are away. And I suppose that's the other great thing, people who are living away, maybe in the other side of the world, that are able to fly their flags and do all that. But I suppose the most extreme thing is in Ballina, the guy that painted his house. Did you go and see it today?
No.
He painted his house red and green, and he's raising money, I think, for the new sensory park they're building in Ballina as well. But yeah, it's proper red and green, like red and green boxes and squares all over his terrace house. So I think that's probably the most committed I've seen. Although, again, go back to the nail bar today, I asked them were they doing many red and green and Mayo for Sam nails, and yes, they had a few, and they showed me a few pictures. And some lady got her nails painted Mayo for got them painted red and green and got Mayo for Sam written on them, and she was off to dye her hair red and green later on. So that's pretty extreme. I didn't go for anything just like that yet. I'd hate to be walking around next week. I'd get an awful slagging from the two boys if I'd red and green hair next week.
Have you allowed your head to go to the place where Mayo do lift Sam, and what does that look like here in Mayo for the days afterwards?
I've often thought, you obviously you think about it. You think, how would it pan out? You know, McHale Park's been resurfaced, so there'll probably be no homecoming there.
Or is it being resurfaced for the homecoming?
yeah, that's it. No, I don't know. I don't think anyone knows, because we've never experienced anything close to it or in that magnitude in Mayo. I think everyone will just go to their towns and stand around and expect something to happen. I don't know. I don't know what's actually going to happen. I mean, do they go to the pub? If you don't drink, what do you do? Do you stand outside the pub and clap? Or, I think there'll be a lot of driving around. I know, like in the towns like Westport and Castlebar, after a good semi-final win, you'll get people driving around for half an hour after it's beeping.
Yeah.
I don't know. God knows what would happen. I'd say there'll be nothing done for a week or two anyway. It'll be shut down. Don't be expecting anything done in Mayo if Mayo winning All Ireland.
For Tyrone to win this game, they're going to have to die in that football pitch, because I know the Mayo lads are going to put their full effort into that, and they're going to go out in their shields, one way or another, in victory or in sorrow. So Tyrone, be ready for that.